I'm going to keep it simple with the first one. The guy we were just talking about, Travis Kelce. 6.5 receptions is the prop. It's really juiced. Minus 150 in some spots right now. But look, 11 of his 17 postseason games he's played with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, he's hit this number. I want to say in 3 others, he's come this close with 6 receptions. So Kelce over 6.5 receptions is our first overall pick, Joe, in our Super Bowl player prop draft.
All right. I wasn't sure which Kelce prop you were going to go with. So do I go with another Kelce? Do I go elsewhere? I'm going to go 70.5. All right, I'll bite. I'll go over 70.5 on yards. Yeah. Look, I mean, he's got 12 straight playoff games. He's gone over the number. I know the stat was 69.5. So, I mean, one more yard. I believe he's hit all of those, if not most of them. And you look at San Francisco against tight ends, like they've been getting torched by all the good ones. And then you've got Kelce playing hot, coming off arguably his best game of the year against Detroit. They just gave up over 100 yards to the position. Arizona wasn't that long ago, 172 against the position, almost 100 to Hawkinson and company. Like you can get after, you can put up some yardage as a tight end against San Francisco's defense. So, yeah, I thought by now this number would be closer to the mid 70s. So it's 70.5. I'm good with that. Kelce over on the receiving yards.
Kyle Juszczyk. Over 3.5 receiving yards. I love it. I mean, he's only gone under this twice. If he's catching a ball, he's probably going over that. He obviously had a big game against the Lions, but I think he might be looking towards him. And if he just gets one catch, he'll go over that.
What if we go Kelce most rushing plus receiving yards at 10-1? He's not going to have any rushing yards. But if he puts up like 150, 140, maybe 125, you're still getting there at a great price, much better price than most receiving yards. So that was how I was thinking about that one.
Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals made. Just we obviously think this is going to be a kicking game, and I know Joe definitely had this written down, so I'm going to take it first before it comes off the board. So going to take Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals made, and then on the wraparound, I'm going to go MVS over 13.5 longest receptions. If he's getting one reception in this game, it's going to be longer than that. And we just had the bump back. Kelce saying no rules. MVS is the ultimate no rules guy. So chuck it up at the end of the game, over 13.5 longest reception.
Also the ultimate no hands guy. But, I mean, hey.
Famously, except last week. So we'll take it. Or 2 weeks ago, whatever.
It's okay, Hawk. You don't have to lie. I know you were betting more Juszczyk. I know it. You know it. We all know it. It's all good. I think if you monitor, look, if you're willing to short the best player in football, you're going to be rewarded. And, I looked at Patrick Mahomes, and I think one of the most popular props going into Sunday is going to be Mahomes over, not only on passing yards, but I want to talk about the passing touchdown market. This is not a good passing offense, despite what people think. He's incredible, but the receivers are pretty meh. Rice has promise, but he's young. He's never played in a game like this. And Kelce's going to have to face, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw in the middle. It's not an ideal matchup for the Chiefs' passing attack. It's good for the running attack, but not for the passing attack. If you wait until Saturday or Sunday and you go under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Mahomes, you honestly, right now you can get plus 130, plus 135. There's a world where over 1.5 touchdowns gets to minus 180 or minus 190. And I know people don't want to short Mahomes, but we're not betting the player, we're betting the price. And if they're going to hang a minus 190 to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns, I'm going to take plus 160 on the no, that he throws 0 or 1. People don't want to hear that, but again, it's like the price should be minus 130, 140, but because everybody's going to bet Mahomes and Kelce and the Chiefs specifically, these prices are all way higher than they should be. And I was in the lunchroom yesterday at Nesson, and the guy in accounting, who I know doesn't bet, he goes, Vegas says this wrong. Chiefs should be a 5-point favorite. And I'm like, oh my God. The accounting guy's making lines now. That's where I'm at. So when I hear something like that, I think, all right, I gotta be smart about what I do here, and I gotta take advantage of this infatuation with Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce. If it beats me, I'm fine. But guess what? I'm going to take plus prices, fading Mahomes and Kelce. Plus prices, not minus prices.
It's the practice off day kind of filler story that people are looking for. Why are they looking for it? I think a few reasons. One, he's the oldest current coach in the league. So there's one. He would be the next one. Two, we just had a couple of surprise retirements in the sport. But I think there's context there. There's context with Saban, 72 years, 7-year gap, and NIL. Like I think there are a lot of big-time college coaches that have reached the pinnacle, and they're like, I don't want to deal with this crap. Now I got to do this. Now I got to change my entire program that I've built up. Like, I'm not into that. And Pete Carroll, retirement, dude was pushed out. Dude was fired without being fired. Also, 7 years older at 72 years old. If they win on Sunday, we're going to be here Monday morning talking about, is this a dynasty? For NFL standards, it's probably a dynasty, 3-5. You mentioned Prime Mahomes, 8 straight division titles, 9 straight double-digit wins. What's he going to do? I don't see it. I don't see any chance that Andy Reid retires. What do you think, Aaron?
I don't either. He looks like he's having fun anytime I see him in the locker room. He doesn't look tired. I'm riding this thing out as long as possible with Pat Mahomes. And this was supposed to be a down year. Last year they struggled. And look, they're still in the Super Bowl. I know it's great to walk away when you're on top if they do win the Super Bowl this year, but I still don't see him walking away yet. Why? You got Pat Mahomes. They're probably going to be better next year.
Is that more of a player thing, walking out on top, than coach?
I think it can be for some players. I think some players have the Brady bug where they want to play as long as they can, as long as they're somewhere close to the top of their game. Now, Brady was a different animal, avocado ice cream and all that. But, like, I think a lot of players want to stay in it as long as they can because they from players I've talked to who are at the end of their careers, it's as much about the camaraderie and being in the room and being around the guys and being around the day-to-day and the habits and everything that you build up over a long career as it is necessarily going for wins, too. You want to win, obviously, but you want to be around your guys. You want to be in the building. You want to feel – because the minute you hang them up, like, you look around and you go – it's like the John Travolta Pulp Fiction meme. You look around like, what the hell do I do with myself now? Like – you don't know what to do when your entire life has been based around playing that sport and being as great as you can. So I think more players don't think about going out on top as much as they think about playing as long as they can. In Reid's case, coaching as long as he can could mean another 6-7 years. You know, he could get to that sort of magic number of 72. That's another 7 years. If that's another, let's say they win Sunday, okay? I'm gonna start doing this. If they win Sunday and then he gets 2 more rings before the end of his career, again, prime Patrick Mahomes at his disposal, he ends up being a dude with 5 Super Bowl titles and maybe right there at the Belichick and Shula type numbers for overall wins. I mean, we'll have that argument, I think, Aaron, of Belichick might be the GOAT, but what about Andy Reid if he wins a few more rings?
Yeah, and I was it wasn't that long ago when it was like, oh, Andy Reid can't win the big one, can't get it done in the playoffs, and now
game management.
I'm so happy for him, and I would keep going as long as I can. I mean, if you're knocking on the doorstep of being in the argument of greatest NFL coach of all time, you might as well keep going when you have the best quarterback.
The energy is crazy, and it's early in the weekend. You know, like with Super Bowl week, generally, like it takes a while for things to get ramped up. Like Monday and Tuesday are generally pretty tame. Wednesday is like, okay, like you're starting to feel it a little bit. And then Thursday's nuts. And then Friday's just like an absolute bleep show. And that's like my experience just in like I worked for NFL radio for a long time at Sirius XM coming out to Super Bowls. Like, that's generally how it goes. And I would say, Joe, that the biggest difference between the Vegas Super Bowl and like other Super Bowls that I've been to, other cities that I've been to for the Super Bowl, is that the energy's been insane since like day one. Like, since we got here on Sunday, the energy's been absolutely ridiculous. I think it's kind of like a palpable thing. Like, you can kind of like feel it. You can cut it with the knife. It's fantastic, and it's like really energizing to feel that way this early in the week. And it's kind of, wow, like, what's this going to be on tomorrow? What's this going to be like, especially on Friday when it's really going to be nuts? So yeah, it's been really awesome. I think that's been the biggest difference between the Vegas Super Bowl and others. And also, oh, by the way, like when you walk through your hotel, it's not just like a regular hotel. Like, here's a blackjack table and a craps table and roulette, et cetera, which is really great. I kind of feel like we are sort of like desensitized to this stuff because like we're in these environments a lot. But like, if you're just a regular person, like someone who's not doing content for sports, I would imagine that this is like big time. Oh my God, this is like the best thing ever to be out here this week.